Hi everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I'm Peter, and I'm joined with Connor.
Hey guys.
We're going to talk about Supergirl, Season 1, Episode 15. The title of the episode is Solitude, and full spoilers, as always, for the review. So, I am... This is a frustrating episode for
It
me.
is a mixed bag of an episode, isn't it?
Because there's the stuff in this episode that I loved. Like, flat out loved.
Yeah.
I'm not an out loud person. I'm very quiet when I watch stuff. But you know what? Inside, I was cheering. I was cheering at certain moments. And then...
And you know there was a bit where I just squealed like a fangirl.
And then there was the other half of stuff that just made me roll my eyes and not be happy. And
groan.
I mean, overall, I would say that the stuff I loved enough to like the episode overall. But, you know... first thing, let's just get out of the way. The episode opened with a reference to the fact that Melissa Benoist loves donuts.
Fucking loved it.
Because if you pay attention to her on like Instagram and Twitter, Tumblr tends to repost it a lot. There's always photos of her eating donuts on set in her Supergirl outfit, and it's become a bit of a thing where
And it's amazing.
It is kind of amazing. Actually, it is a meme. It's not even a meme, but as that kind of thing
quick
goes,
becoming meme.
as that kind of thing goes, it's funny and it's kind of adorable. And a reference to it in the episode was kind of cool. As soon as she said she brought her donuts, I was giggling.
Me too.
Incessantly. My favourite one still might be the one where she actually is eating fried chicken. She's holding up fried chicken to the camera, and the caption reads, "Fried chicken is like a night donut."
My favourite one's where she's on the phone and in the other hand is just like a half-eaten donut.
Yeah.
Not putting that down.
Nah, it's good stuff. So that was just a nice little meta reference for people who keep up with that kind of thing. But let's get into the actual contents of the episode. And the first thing we're going to talk about is Indigo, aka Brainiac
8.
Yes, that was it. I forgot the number there for a second. Why was Mystique on this show? That's a Marvel character.
No.
It's an X-Men character.
Even the way she was fighting was very Mystique-esque from the X-Men films.
Until she turned into Mr. Fantastic.
And yeah, until that.
The fuck was
in that area, in the nuclear launch bay silo thing, there was like the 5 or 6 military guys, whatever it was, and she was jumping over them and like spinning in the same way that Mystique does in the X-Men films.
Yeah.
Like, it was very similar.
Yeah, it was weird, and they didn't need to do this. Actually, going back to the Mr. Fantastic stretchy moment, I felt like when she stretched out her arms, it looks really goofy, and that power always looks fucking goofy.
Yeah, there's no way
fake.
to not make that goofy.
And I was thinking, why didn't they just, instead of stretching, why didn't like her hands move, but it would just be like that pixely thing in the middle? As if she's like, you know, making her just her hands go out. Like, that'd have been better. It'd look fine.
Yeah, it would have. Do you know what was worse? Is as soon as they were like, you need to turn 2 keys at once, and she's like, I know. I was like, oh, I know where this is going.
Yeah,
it's like, please don't stretch. Please don't stretch. It'll be goofy. And they went and stretched.
Funnily enough, it was making me think of... have you ever seen Superman 3?
Yeah.
And the bit where Richard Pryor has to do 2 keys at the one time.
Mm.
And he's using his foot.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
he's trying to get the drunk guy to use his... Oh, that was pretty funny. But I don't know, it made me think of that, just because it's a Superman-related thing, and there's, you know, similar idea. Also, speaking of things that reminded me of the movies, the little ball that Non had at the end, when he was like sort of reviving, or not reviving, but like recovering Indigo's body, that's very similar to a ball that was in the Supergirl movie.
I haven't seen the Supergirl movie.
Nah, but there's a spinning ball in that's very similar.
Even just the kind of the spinning design reminds me of, you know, like the spinning things they have on Krypton in like Superman 1.
Yeah.
It's like the same sort of
I mean,
esque thing. That it reminded me of that a little bit.
But yeah, so Indigo was shit. Right, she looked terrible. She just was evil because, and there was really nothing redeeming about her. Acting wasn't particularly good either.
I'm trying to think.
The only time I got remotely interested was when they actually confirmed she was a Brainiac version, because when I seen the things in her head, the lights, I was like, wait a minute, also a Brainiac thing.
Well,
What's going
I
on?
knew she was meant to be a Brainiac because she's Brainiac 8 in the comics anyway.
Yeah.
But I didn't
I
know
don't
if they
think
were
I've,
going to go
I
that
don't
far.
think I've encountered her in the comics. If I have, she was really different, and I've already seen someone online
I
complaining
think
that.
she was in like some Teen Titans stuff that I've read.
But I've already seen people complaining online that she's nothing like the character in the comics. So if I did encounter her,
Well,
doesn't.
the thing is, in the comics, she was a hero first, and then she turned out she was an undercover supervillain sort of thing. Whereas this is just jumped straight to she's a villain.
Yeah, but it's just what destroyed the world because
Yeah.
obviously, yeah. So she was shit, right? So let's move on from Indigo. She was just terrible. No redeeming qualities. Before we get to the good stuff, let's get to the other terrible
Oh
stuff.
yes. This was far worse than Indigo, in my opinion.
Yes and no.
Well,
Yeah,
see,
well,
Indigo was at least anchored by other things around her that were interesting. This entire thing was just nope.
so Lucy Lane.
It's good to have a
Well,
new way you were going with that.
at least though she might be gone now, which is nice.
No, it won't happen. We'll have another 2 episodes of them trying to work it out.
But Lucy Lane is feeling all jealous and like not loved by Jimmy because Jimmy seems to care more about running off and helping Supergirl.
Because James fucked off to the Fortress of Solitude instead of going on a date with his chick.
Well, we'll get to that. We'll get to the fortress later. But and then she realizes that Kara and him have got feelings for each other. Although the way they phrased it, I hate how anyone in a TV show when anyone notices that someone likes someone else, it's immediately, oh, you're in love with her, and
Yeah.
she's in love with you, even if she can't say it yet. Why does it have to be straight to in love? Just say you clearly have feelings for each other. You care about her more than you care about me. Just phrase it in a way an actual human being speaks.
Yeah, I have nothing to add to that because it's, you're right. It's just annoying and infuriating.
So no, I was rolling
But
that.
it's TV. Even good TV shows seem to do this.
Yeah, every single time Lucy Lane was involved or on screen, I was cringing, rolling my eyes. To a lesser extent, because it was at least somewhat amusing. We also had Win and
I didn't hate that
Siobhan.
anywhere near as much.
No, I didn't.
It was
But
it wasn't good, but it was just like
at
whatever.
the same time, though, when she kissed him, I was kind of like, "Oh, really?" I mean, I
Yeah.
got that they were seeding that they might be a thing, but she just went in and kissed him right away, and I thought, "Really?"
Yeah, they even seeded it a little bit last week with the looks they was given and stuff.
Yeah, but even that didn't necessarily have to go anywhere. That could have just been a fun little.
I wouldn't even mind if it did go somewhere, just in another couple of
No,
episodes
yeah,
time.
but it didn't need to because like it was just like a wink, and then he got uncomfortable because she's like a really hot chick, and he's like a nerdy little guy.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. It'd have been fine just as that little joke, and then she gives him a sort of like roll of the eyes because he's being a dweeb. Right. It could have been left there, but throughout this episode, they had them have some conversations. So I got this. Yeah, like, they're seeing that this might actually be a thing, and it'll be she's going to end up falling for him. But at the end of the episode, I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not getting up out of a wheelchair perfectly healthy, like miraculously, but still a bit quick. That's all I'm saying.
Was a little bit quick. I'd have given it another episode or two yet, but
So there was that. All the relationship stuff really kind of bogged it down a bit. I'm not entirely sold on Kara and Jimmy being a thing, to be honest. And it's kind of every time they start hinting at it again, I'm just kind of like,
I think it's because she has better chemistry with Win, in my
she
opinion.
does, yeah.
And I feel like that not to get into the shipping side of things, but just in terms of chemistry, there, I'd go with those two over James.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
It feels a little more forced this way.
Yeah, it feels like they're forcing the tall, good-looking guy,
Yeah,
and it just doesn't feel. I mean, I like Jimmy. I think he's fine, but I don't. The chemistry just isn't really there for me.
exactly.
That said, whatever. They're going to explore it. They'll probably be together for like half a season, then break up. It's not going to be that big a
At
deal.
most.
But it just, I don't know. The relationship stuff bogged this one down. That especially the Lucy stuff and then the Indigo stuff. Indigo was terrible. Relationship stuff not very good.
Yeah,
But
the thing with the Win stuff and Siobhan is it felt like that could have been in any episode anyway. Like that dose of that level of quality is the sort of thing we get throughout anyway. So it felt like that alone didn't really affect it. It's when the other stuff was bad.
Yeah. However, that's the negative stuff out of the way, because there is actually a lot of good stuff to talk about in this one as well.
There is.
Outside of the donuts, which we already gleefully talked about at the start. So let's talk about the fortress. That's obviously the big Superman-y reference thing that we got. First of all, I loved them flying in at the start.
Yeah.
And she's like carrying him, because it was a very Superman the movie style shot of her flying in, and it just looked it looked really good. And then I love that they kept the key thing from the comics.
I know, it's so cheesy, and you just look at it, it's like it on TV, it just looks so cheesy, but I love it.
Well, I think it's a bit ridiculous it was so big. I would have almost thought it was funnier if it was
was
like
a
a regular
tiny
size
little
key.
yeah, it's still
but no one could pick it up except her.
Yeah. That would have been.
Because I love that touch in the comics, that it's like, oh no, I just have a really heavy key because no one can pick it up, so I can just leave it here. It's fine. I love that they kept that.
Yeah, it's great.
I do have to wonder though, like, this is on CBS going out to a lot of people. Do regular CBS viewers know enough about Superman to know what the Fortress of Solitude is? Really?
I feel maybe. I mean, a lot of people have seen Man of Steel now, so they've got like references to this is your fort. I think they could say this is like your Fortress of Solitude. Do they not?
No, Man of Steel
Do
basically
they not
doesn't have
reference it?
No,
Do they not reference it when he goes to the ship?
no.
Okay, I thought they did.
I mean,
Maybe I'm just filling
the
it
ship
in my head.
acts as his fortress for us because we know what the fortress is, but
Yeah,
it's
I thought they
said.
referenced it, but no, my bad. Okay, maybe not.
So no, that's a no then.
No, then I mean, it's Superman's kind of too old now at this point to assume that a younger audience has seen it. Really, I suppose. Unfortunately,
But Fortress, I mean, I thought the set did look a little bit cheap.
yeah.
Not overly so, but it did have more of a TV feel about it than. That said, I thought the lighting helped it quite a bit. It looked filmed well, at least, even if the set wasn't the best in the world. That said, the robot looked quite good.
I was impressed by that damn little robot.
The floating robot, with the information droid, if you will, was pretty good, pretty spiffy. I like that inclusion.
And I did squeal during this scene because of one.
Oh yeah, the ring. Yeah.
They had a close up on the Legion ring. It's like, oh, we've had one in another show. Now we got this one. It's like, oh, just give me some Legion, someone.
I am not a fan of Legion of Superheroes, so I really don't care if they ever show up. Ideally they wouldn't, but I do like that little tease in the Flash wasn't actually anything to do with Flash or Arrow. It was to do with Supergirl.
Unless it's like a double whammy. Unless they're double seeding.
It could be, but at least at this point it's a Supergirl thing.
Unless that's to do with the crossover.
Oh, please don't ruin the crossover with fucking Legion.
Fucking throw the Legion into the crossover.
No.
Yes.
No, they're awful.
I love the Legion.
I hate the Legion of Superheroes. Don't do it. I hate them so much. Don't ruin the crossover. I'm looking forward to this crossover. Don't ruin them with that.
I'm looking forward to it, and I'd look forward to it even more if I was getting the Legion in it.
Oh god, you'll be unbearable. No,
well,
let's not do that. Thank you very much. Loved the whole scene. The only thing I didn't like was the dialogue at the end with the, "Yeah, I'm not alone. I've got you," was really on the nose.
Yeah, it was a bit.
I will complain about that line of dialogue. Otherwise, though, I really liked that whole scene. I also really liked some of the stuff where Supergirl's like trying to do everything without the DEO. Like, I love Wynn being over with his 5 like iPads doing his hacker shit, and something I really liked about that scene when Indigo first pops up.
Right.
Supergirl gets thrown out the window, and she comes back in, and she does the whole shirt ripping open, and the super girl outfits underneath. I really like that she got interrupted, right? And then for the rest of that scene into the next scene, her shirt's just kind of open, and the suit's just there, and she's walking around with the shirt just being open. That sounds like a really weird thing to praise, but I feel like this applies to Superman as well. I feel like the suit's supposed to be under her clothes, but I never really feel like it could be. It's just kind of a magic thing that happens to be there when it needs to be, right? I don't know why it is, but for some reason I really like the imagery of them just walking around with like an open, like you know how when you've got like a shirt on over a t-shirt.
Yeah.
I love the image of her walking around with just the shirt open with the suit underneath.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but for some reason I really
It's just
like that.
it's so much more implausible for Supergirl when she has the skirt and the boots.
Yeah.
Whereas a Superman, you could at least buy. You could wear a bodysuit under your regular clothes and cover it up reasonably well.
But I really liked it. I like that it you don't tend to see it sort of half casually revealed like that, and I kind of like that.
No, you don't. It was nice.
I like that half casualness of it, which was good. I also really liked the everything with the nuke. I thought her flying up to the nuke. I thought a nice little touch that I really appreciated was the hands digging into the.
I was just going to mention that. It was such a little thing, but I really liked it.
Especially since they didn't really focus on it too much, it was just because it went to the wider shot, and I just noticed that as she was going up that there was little holes.
I almost wanted her to accidentally pull back a little bit too far, and it's scraping her slipper touch.
Yeah, that could have happened.
That would have been nice.
But I liked all that. I thought it was a really exciting sequence, and I thought the nuke base set felt cheap. And then when I got the scene with the actual nuke and her chasing after it, which was really, really good, I thought, well, that's where they put that budget. They skimped on this, so they could have had a really nice this.
Well spent, in my opinion.
Yeah, because it looked really good. Her flying to save the nuke. Again, it reminded me of the movies, because Superman flies
It's
after
such a Superman thing, isn't it, though? I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Why is there a disarm code on the nuke for while it's flying? Who's using that code?
It's not for while it's flying. It'll be if it actually gets armed while it's in like
Okay.
a warehouse.
That makes more sense.
Well, not a warehouse. You don't keep a nuke in a warehouse. But you know what I mean.
Just throw it in the bag with the logs around there.
But if it's been transported or something like that, and
Yeah.
something goes wrong, they can punch it in.
Makes sense. I did think it was really tense. Like considering like they could have been quite easily, overly done, really cheesy. It's a nuke flying at the city. It's not like the first time I've ever seen that. But they managed to keep it quite tense.
Yeah, no, it was a good scene. Really, really enjoyed it, and it was fun to have Kara, insisting not being with the DEO for an episode, and that brings us to the final scene. Well, not the final scene, because the final scene was Non and Indigo's body, but
also you missed the best line when defeating Indigo.
Oh yeah, I like this line too. Yeah,
You're just a glorified Windows Vista. That cracked me up. It's so bad, but I love it.
No, I like that line. And Win got to save the day, which was
nice. Yeah.
Win got to beat the bad guy. But no, the final scene in the DEO when Kara shows up and Alex tells her the truth. I thought this scene was very good. I thought the acting was good on everyone's part in the scene.
Yeah.
And I wasn't sure where they were going to go with it, but Supergirl just hugging it out with her was nice. But the real moment that made it for me was Hank walking away and then Supergirl
Her grabbing his arm.
Her grabbing his arm. And I think it was, I always praise Benoist on here, but I think her acting here was really good. Like the look in her face.
It's the look that she gives him.
Yeah, because that look says, "I'm sorry, I've been a bitch."
Yeah, I know what you did. I know you did it to help her and stuff.
And I'm forgiving you, but I hope you forgive me too, because I was being a bitch.
Yeah.
And you're important too. And then we get the nice shot of like them in a hug and then her holding his hand. Almost a little bit awkward. I mean, not in the context.
He was like he was looking like, I need to walk away, or do I go in? Do I walk away? Do I stay still? He couldn't decide which way he should move.
But no, I thought it was a really good scene, really, really well acted, and everyone's music was swelling up all nice, and
yeah.
No, it was a nice quality moment. And I think the quality moments in this add up. There's some good heroics. There's some good Supergirl moments. There's some good action.
There were some really good cat moments for me.
Yeah,
when she called Win Toyman Jr.
Yeah, that was funny.
That was good.
A lot of good stuff. Even Supergirl saving the family in the car was a nice little moment.
Yeah, it definitely was.
But unfortunately, there was all the Lucy Lane and Indigo was shit. So it's you know, it's hard. I mean, we don't rate episodes on here, but this would be a really hard one to rate because the moments I liked, I really liked, and then the moments I didn't like, I really didn't like.
I liked what I liked more than I disliked what I didn't like. I think by a bit, not by much.
And it's funny because we joked about Indigo looking like Mystique from X-Men, and yet, unlike Mystique, she wasn't naked, but I felt like she should have been. And that's not just me being
No, it felt like there was no reason for her to be clothed. She
Yeah,
was this internet thing, and then she takes on a form, which I get, I buy it, sure, but
and why does she have
does she
such a
create clothes?
specific hairstyle?
Yeah,
Nothing about the way she looked made sense. Her character wasn't that great anyway, because she was just meh, 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 I want to destroy the world, but with no depth. But lots of good stuff, lots of great moments that, you know, I'm sure will be good. And unfortunately, we don't have an episode next week. They're skipping a week, and then we're back for episode 16 the following. So,
will we get the episode of this crossover before the Flash comes back?
no.
When
what
episode's the crossover?
It's the 28th, I think, something like that.
Oh, I thought the crossover was on like the 18th episode or something, so it would have been maybe the week after it comes back then. Okay.
No, I think Flash is already back. However, I don't think that Flash going on a month's break when he had to take some time out to go and film the crossovers a coincidence.
No, probably not.
That probably lined up intentionally. So, but no. So, good episode with lots of great moments, but just a couple of fairly major things dragging it down.
Good episode, good moments. Some major things we hated.
Well, you gotta call it like you see it, and
Yeah.
you know,
Such a mixed episode.
But it's not even like sometimes when it's a mixed episode of something and you say, "Oh, it was a bit mixed," you're kind of meh on it, like, "Oh, with some not bad stuff, but with some stuff I didn't really like either."
Yeah.
This was polar fucking extremes.
It was just complete different ends of the scale of whether it was good or bad.
But yeah, so that's this week's Supergirl Solitude.